And I thought the owners had thought about it very, very carefully. Now, the plumber had realized that when a plumber enters your house, they're often working in intimate areas of your house, and they're often messy, and they often cause a lot of problems when they enter your house. So he said, we've got to do things completely different. And he trained his staff, and he said, when we enter that house, we're guests in that house. And we have to behave as guests. So firstly, we're going to arrive on time. And when we've arrived, we're going to phone the owner and say, we're outside. May we enter the house? So we are setting some standards. And then we have to dress neatly. We can't enter that home dressed like slobs. Our uniforms need to be neat, and we have to have all the tools that we need. And when we are finished, we have our own brooms, and we clean up afterwards. And we leave that place just as the homeowner would want it to be left, without them having to clean up the dust and clean up all the areas that needs to be cleaned. So if you're leaving that area spick and span, they're going to be happy, and they're likely to talk to their friends. And it's cheaper for us to get free advertising than it is for us to spend a lot of money paying for it. That was the approach that he uses, and it works for him.
It really does.
Now, an electrician, I've recently used this particular electrician, and my issue was I had to upgrade my home after 35 years of living there. So I wanted more modern light fittings. I didn't want the fittings of Jan van Riebeck, because that's what I had in my home. And I didn't want the plugs of Jan van Riebeck,
No.
because that's what I had in my home. So we had to have all the plugs changed in every single area of the house. We had to have all the light fittings changed, and it was going to be a major disruption, because as they finished, the solar panel people were coming in. So I knew it was going to be a time of much grace and disruption of my family homes, because there were 2 homes that we actually had to completely refit. Now, the supervisor explained how the timeline, basically. This was how long he was going to need from beginning to end. This was how many days he was going to need for this part of the house. This was how much he was going to have for the kitchen. He involved the domestic worker in that, because her job is to produce the food, and she needs to plan ahead. So those days she was able to prepare the day before, so that her tasks are not completely disruptive. So he worked very, very carefully from beginning to end. Now, the other thing I have that's really important is I'm a non-smoking household, and I don't like staff smoking and then coming in with that smell.
Yeah, because it's on your clothes, it's on your breath.
And I had explained up front, look, this is a non-smoking household. And so he'd got spray, he did that on his own. And he spoke to his staff and said, this is a non-smoking household. If you must smoke, you're going to have to use this stuff before you come back into the house, because they don't want to have the smell of cigarettes in their house. And we've got to respect that. Then the other thing that I liked about this electrician is they brought their own ladders. I hate it when people want to come and do some work and they didn't bring the tools. They didn't bring the right extensions. They didn't bring the ladders. He brought everything. So he also stuck to the timeline. So it meant that we were able, from beginning to end, keep disruptions to a minimum. We could work around the disruptions, but that meant that he gets
my 5 stars.
Exactly.
And he's going to get the business for repeat business. And I'm going to certainly tell my network of friends he's worth using because he is going to respect the space. So now the question is, what then happens if you have the opposite of that? And the example I've chosen is Mr. X, who went on pension last year. And his pension had a 5 million rand lump sum that had to be paid out by the insurance company.
Okay. It's something he's been working for his entire life.
It's now May, he still hasn't seen a cent.
What?
Because the insurance company lost the first set of forms.
Crazy.
Then he had to fill it in again. Then the staff person working on the file resigned.
Oh,
And
goodness
that
me.
staff person didn't pass it on to the next replacement. We eventually had to go and lay a complaint with the Ombud.
Crazy.
Now they're running around in circles because now they're panicking. But the mere fact is that this retiree was supposed to have fun. He had plans. He was going to give his grandchildren money. He was going to go on holiday. 5 months later, he hasn't seen a cent.
That's ridiculous.
That is unfair. Now, that is the opposite of caring about your patient.
Yeah.
That company is being disciplined right now, and they deserve to be disciplined.
Yeah.
Because you can't have staff resigning and then not even bothering to check the desk for the paperwork, which
Exactly.
means the paperwork wasn't even loaded online yet.
Oh my goodness.
So that is the extreme, and it's very important that we get that right. Now, why is it that we need to make recommendations? Firstly, stats show us that people don't trust Facebook.
Okay.
They don't trust adverts in general,
Yeah.
but they will trust a recommendation, even if it's from a total stranger.
Sure.
So, folks, if you are running a business, those recommendations do count. They mean things, and you can then improve. And as I said to you a couple of minutes ago, I'm getting comments from Saudi Arabia. I have no idea who these people are,
Yeah.
but it's word of mouth,
That's it.
and it brings business. You don't know the person, they don't know you, but they will trust a recommendation from a friend that they have.
And again, I want to say to those business owners, your business might be booming at the moment. You might be like, wow, I just can't keep up and whatever else like that. Don't let it slip.
Yes.
Keep your service levels high because there could be lean times coming. And in those lean times, word of mouth is what will carry you through. But if you treat your customers, your clients as just, oh, well, you're just a paying person, it can bite you in the butt. It really can. Nico Kleynhans, thank you so much for chatting to us. Really appreciate your time. And
Sure.
Thank you very much. We
Thank
look
you.
forward to next week. Nico is a regular here on Breakfast with Friends because various topics and important things that we need to discuss. So make sure you tune in every Tuesday at around 1:45.